subscribers, well, subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC 264 back on pay-per-view live from, yes, the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We have the trilogy, guys, between McGregor and Poirier. In case you're living under a rock, they are headlining the card with a sweet co-main event as well. All around deep pay-per-view card. Some great fights on the prelims as well. I'll be going over the main card like usual. We were off last week. No fights last week, but this is probably the second week off, and I think in the past couple months. So hopefully that doesn't continue, but we're getting treated with a big card here. Nice run we're on. Nice run we're on currently for myself and subscribers, and even all you guys that just watched the video. We're on a 71% UFC run for myself and clients, with 8+ money winners on the last 3 cards. Bunch of free picks given out as well on the video, so hopefully you're tuning in each week and benefiting from that. I'll be writing a guest article again this week for All Access MMA, so you guys can check that out. I'll be breaking down a couple other fights besides what I go over here, so it's going to be something to look out for. I'll be posting on my Twitter and Instagram for you guys to check out. Weekly update. Let's get into a weekly update. It's been, like I said, a week off. Some other sports are winding down. But let's take a look here. 65% best bets long term. I'll have at least one best bet on this card, guys. At least one best bet on this card. Just under 40 units on all plays. This is long-term betting, guys. Win long-term here with system capping. NHL has come to an end pretty much. Don't have any bets in the NHL remaining. 64-34 run we ended the season on, guys. Long-term sample size, 65% run. And 65% in the NHL all year. So very good in the NHL. PGA continues to run well as well. We almost had a system capping record with 3 outright winners in a row, but did not get there. We had 2 outright winners in a row the past month. We have a best bet pending this weekend and bets on the John Deere Classic and Scottish Open. Euro Cup started great. Did really well. Started, I think, 11-3 on plays and some up and downs in the knockout stage. But Italy is keeping us profitable, guys. We had a nice cash ticket on Italy to make the semifinals plus 2-2.5, hitting some draws as well in the semifinals here to profit. And pending outright on Italy, plus 1,100, plus 1,100, guys. Currently, they are minus 120 to win it all. They'll be playing England in the final, which should be fun. I'll have a few plays on that game as well for my subscribers. NBA MLB continues to be low volume. Before we get into the breakdowns and card, let's hear from my friend Meredith.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
And we are back, guys. Also, if you want my best bets and personal plays, check out systemsportscapping.com. And start winning long-term on sports betting. You know, start enjoying the games while you can win long-term and profit. I bet all sports pretty much. NFL, one of my strongest sports, is coming up in a couple months. So get on board now. Get a sample size. I have anywhere from 3-day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, and of course a 1-year package as well. I want to thank all the new subscribers that has subscribed. And also a couple that also subscribed long term. Remember, guys, shop around for best prices. This isn't the best price that you're going to get. These are just some numbers that I have either from one specific sportsbook or online where I get my graphics from. So remember, shop around. Here we go. Trilogy main event. Poirier minus 125 versus McGregor plus 100. What a flip-flop in lines, right? Last time the line was heavily favored for McGregor. Now it's flip-flop into Poirier, just a slightly favored. And I agree with the line. I think the bookmakers did a good job. And they were trying to draw in some money on McGregor, obviously at the plus 100. Third and final matchup between these two. And the winner should get a title shot, especially if it's Dustin. We've seen Dustin turn the title shot down to fight McGregor. I don't blame him. Big payday for the guy. And you had to do the trilogy eventually, in my opinion. We've seen these two guys split the two fights. McGregor winning the first fight years back. And obviously Dustin knocking out Conor in round 2 just a few months ago. Dustin proved that he isn't the same fighter that Conor beat years ago. And he continued to say that narrative over and over again. And Conor may be a different fighter as well. And it's more in a negative way, not in a Dustin Poirier way. Conor's just 3-3 since 2016 with long time off in between fights. His wins have just been over Donald Cerrone, Alvarez, and Nate Diaz. Poirier's been in much more active, guys. A much more active fighter between the two and has been in some wars. Showing his durability and showing that he can take a shot. He can take a shot, and Conor just hasn't shown me he's been in any wars and can take shots as of late, right? Conor gets in there, tries to finish the fight early, round 1 or 2, and if he doesn't, he's in big trouble. He's shown this in all his fights, right? His wins are mainly in first or second round, and it's when he's knocking out guys, right? Sure, possibly I see him coming back better than last time. I think he has a different game plan, maybe a different stance. He's going to try to keep it as like a boxing match versus Dustin, but Dustin is a mixed martial artist. He's an all-around fighter. He can do everything. And that's why I just think it's not the best matchup for Conor McGregor, right? He's durable. He can do everything. He can get this to the ground. He can grapple against the cage. He can wrestle. And obviously he can box as well. Remember, Dustin Poirier is one of the better boxers in the UFC, but does he want to just stand the whole fight with McGregor and box? No, I don't think so. I think he should make it a mixed martial arts fight. I expect him to mix it up with some grappling, some leg kicks again, and then possibly maybe even get this to the ground, right? If you look at Conor's fights, like what am I impressed by, right? At least in the last, when he was 3 for 3, right? What am I really impressed by? Okay, the Eddie Alvarez fight was nice in my opinion. It was a while ago though. So it's not going to be that impressive to me. And then the Cowboy fight, sure, he beat Cowboy very, very easily in my opinion, but it's not the Cowboy that we all know, right? It's the 2020 Cowboy. We've seen Cowboy just lose fights after fights after fights. And Conor came in, sure, he looked good against Cowboy, but it's not impressive to me. Conor just hasn't beat anybody in my eyes to warranted betting on him this weekend. Now, do I love Poirier? No, because obviously McGregor could catch him. He caught him in the first round, guys. In that second fight, McGregor caught him a couple times, but Poirier was able to eat the shots, and that's what worries me. Conor caught him clean a couple times. Poirier took the shots. You see what he took against Hooker. You see what he's taking in time and time again. Is it going to catch up eventually? It might. But I just think Poirier finds a way to get this done and push it to the second, third, fourth round to get the win. Now, my favorite play in this fight is obviously for the fight not to go the distance. I don't see this fight going the distance. I would take the under in higher rounds as well. That would be my favorite play, but you got to pay for that. You're paying for that, right? So I do lean Poirier here. I haven't bet it as of yet. I suggest if you do bet it, it's going to be closer to fight time or even live. You could even probably get a better price live if McGregor catches him early. But Poirier closer to fight night because McGregor fanboy money is going to come in, right? People are going to jump on McGregor late. So I do think you can get a little better price, but it's not a big price at minus 125. So I don't mind laying it if I do bet it. Hasn't made my card yet, but I do lean Poirier. I don't see too much changing. Right, McGregor's only path to victory is knocking him out in the first 2 rounds. That's my opinion. I think a lot of people are saying that as well, and a lot of people would agree to that. McGregor's not going to win, a decision. I can tell you that much. But I can see, sure, it could get pushed a little later, 3rd or 4th round. But it's just very hard for me to see this fight going 5. Because I never seen McGregor come in disciplined. I see him coming in and trying to take off his opponent's head. And I don't think it's going to be too much different here. Both guys look for KOs. Both guys have power to end the fight. So I don't see this going 5. And I lean Poirier at this price. If you do like him, I suggest to jump on him a little later and closer to the fight. Co-main event, guys. Co-main event is another great fight. Very interesting to see. Wish this was 5 rounds. Unfortunately, it is 3 because it's not a title shot or a main event. But hey, they gave the Nate Diaz fight 5. Nate Diaz he gets what he wants, I guess, right? For him to fight, he's an OG. Thompson minus 160 versus Burns plus 130. Obviously, some value there with Burns at plus 130. Very interesting matchup here, which should be for the title shot. But knowing this division, you never know what is going on in this division. Burns is obviously coming off the 2nd round KO to Usman, which was the biggest fight of his life. Getting dropped by jabs is a little concerning for me. Thompson's one of the toughest guys to fight due to his awkward karate style and one of the best strikers in the UFC. Very good at not getting hit, using his reach and distance, and is very tough matchup for anybody, especially a guy like Burns who's just starting to become a good striker. Right, we're seeing Burns improve on his striking every time out, and his power is showing. That right hand is showing. Obviously we all know Burns. He's known for his jiu-jitsu, and one of the best on the ground in the UFC. But I'm telling you, the power and striking has been improving, and it showed in the Usman fight. He caught him early. He caught Usman early in that fight. However, Burns rushed. He rushed it, and he showed his inexperience and got caught. Now, I don't think Burns can catch Thomas in just 3 rounds like he did to Usman. His path would get this fight to the ground. There's no secret here. Can he get it to the ground is the big question. Wonderboy has great takedown defense, and Burns isn't an amazing wrestler. Right? He's not going to just be able to, grapple you against the cage and just take you down super easy. And the way Thompson fights, by keeping the distance, picking you apart from the outside, it's tough to get into Thompson. Right? That's the issue here. Is Burns going to be able to get inside and try to get to this ground? I think if Burns just stands for 3 rounds, he's in big trouble. He's going to get picked apart. And, Thompson could possibly finish it late if it's, a nice high kick. It could be a nice punch as well. Thompson isn't really known for the KOs. So that's why if you're on the Thompson side, you would look at the decision prop. But laying the price with Thompson may make my card this week at minus 160. I do just think he's a much better striker, much more experienced fighter. He's been in there with top guys as well. Obviously, Burns has been as well, but Thomas has been doing it for a lot longer. And I do think if he does win this fight over Burns, he fights Usman, and it's not a great matchup for Usman, especially if it stays on the feet. So Thompson knows that guys just want to try to bring him down. So what do you think he does? He just practices getting taken down. And who does he practice with? Chris Weidman. And Weidman is one of the best guys at taking you down. So he has a lot of wrestlers that he works with that try to just take him down. I know he worked also with Ryan Hall. Obviously, he's a little smaller guy, but Ryan Hall is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the UFC. So I do think he's going to be prepared for this fight. I do think he gets it done. Minus 160, not the greatest price, but I am willing to lay it. But I'm willing to look at the decision in this fight to go over 2.5 rounds and make the judges. Next fight here, Tuivasa. Minus 138 versus Hardy plus 110. I don't have too much to say about this fight, guys. It's a random heavyweight fight for a main card, at least. Hard to back Hardy, guys. It's very hard to put my money on Greg Hardy and put my subscriber money on Greg Hardy and put you guys and advise you to bet Greg Hardy. Sure, he could win this fight. I mean, he could win this fight. It's just, anytime I listen to the guy, one, I just don't like the guy's attitude. I just don't like him personally, and he just hasn't impressed me much in the octagon. Seems like he wants to just box. He keeps bringing that up. He says he wants to just box and not worry about getting taken down in fights. Ty's not going to do that. I'm not going to be worried about Ty trying to bring this to the ground. Maybe he does if he thinks it's an issue on the feet. We haven't seen it much, though, from Ty. So I think this is going to be on the feet for the most part. Ty is very durable and can take shots. Greg Hardy, not really known for big knockout power. I do think this fight goes over 2.5, definitely over 1.5. And, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to the judges. I lean Tuivasa here. Not that bad of a price at minus 138. Obviously, the value is with Hardy at the plus money. I just can't get to him. I can't advise you guys to bet this guy. It's just, I haven't seen much from him. I thought after that Volkov fight. Now, he's been in there with the better guys. That's one thing to take out. Okay? Martin Tupero we've seen, right? And also Volkov. Much better competition I've seen Tuivasa fight. Obviously he lost those fights because Tupero just brought him down and controlled him like no issue. And then Volkov just picked him apart. So, is it the competition that he's facing? It could be. And is Tuivasa able to get up to that level? And this would be a good win for Tuivasa to beat Hardy. Hardy trains hard. He's been training with Sugar Evans, Rashard Evans. So it's not a fight I'm going to be betting. It's not a fight that's going to make my card. I lean Tuivasa. My favorite play is the over 1.5. Over 2.5 I like as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this goes the distance, guys. Both guys are fairly durable, can take a shot. And I don't see any submissions on Hardy or this fight even going to the ground here. Next fight here, Aldana minus 125 versus Kutsikada plus 100. The Russian is back. Yana in the ring. Important fight in this division. I think the winner of this one should get either a title shot or fight Miesha Tate if she wins her fight. I think that would be a good fight. Tate already called out Yana, and that's obviously, I guess, maybe if Yana wins this fight. They used to train together, so that will be interesting. Aldana's coming off that clinic that Holly Holm put on against her in that 5-round main event. I think it was just maybe around a year ago, maybe a little less. A lot of people were talking about Aldana for a title shot before that Holly fight, but she got picked apart. Super impressive performance from Holly. Holly's a vet. I think I can remember if I was on Holly. I think I was, because I think she was an underdog if I remember correctly. Now, Aldana doesn't have to worry about a striking clinic put on from Yana. However, she's fairly well-rounded, and she does have some tools in her arsenal that could give Aldana some trouble, and it's her grinding, it's her grappling against the cage, it's getting this fight to the ground. We know Aldana doesn't want to be on the ground. She wants to be boxing on the feet. Yana's going to have to make this fight ugly. Like I said, against the cage, getting it to the ground. Yana's striking has improved. It's not terrible. However, it's not at Aldana's level. Right? I can see Aldana using a jab and just picking her apart and winning this fight. Favorite play is over 2.5 and this fight to go to the distance. I lean Aldana. It's a close fight because, like I said, Yana could just make it ugly. She could just make it ugly, grapple, and actually get this fight to the ground and just win like that. So it's not a fight that I love. I lean Aldana, though, and this fight to go over 2.5 rounds. Last fight here, guys. It's to open up the main card, and it is a huge favorite. I can't remember a huge favorite this much as since Valentina fights, yeah, I think Valentina minus 1,200 in one of her fights not too long ago. Sugar Sean O'Malley minus 1,000 versus Matinho plus 600. The line tells you everything here. O'Malley should win this fight with no issues, right? Matinho UFC debut, short notice, and is a 9-4 fighter, which is not an impressive record. Lose-lose situation for O'Malley, but he wanted to stay on the card. And I get it. It's a big card with Conor McGregor on it. And, you know, O'Malley does have a big following. Matinho's smart guy for taking this fight. Because if he does pull it off, it's huge for the kid's career, right? I watched a bit of Matinho. I didn't get too much into because I'm not betting this fight, and I don't suggest you bet it either. But I wanted to watch the guy. He isn't a wrestler. He's not going to be able to just take Sean down and hold him. He's a striker that's southpaw. He was in a war against Tony Gravely, a 4-round fight, but he lost. He also has a couple knockouts on his career. So I expect O'Malley to knock him out. He is tough. He looks pretty durable. So it could go all three, but I think O'Malley finds the KO eventually, maybe in round 2 or 3. But yeah, you don't want to bet this. Just stay away from this fight. Just hopefully Sean O'Malley puts on a classic KO, and it's one for the history books. And then we get to see him against a top 10 guy. I want to see him against a very, very good fighter. I want to see him against a top-rated guy to see how good he really is. We've seen when he stepped up in competition, what happened? Bad luck, right? I can't really say he lost the fight. He doesn't either because he keeps saying he's 13-0. However, we know he's not 13-0, but I like his attitude. I like the kid. I support the guy. He does a lot of big things outside the ring. And, you know, all my support to O'Malley. Some of you guys that know me a little better know I am an O'Malley supporter. That will do it, guys. That will do it for the main card. I will have a few best bets on this card. So check out my website to get on board and get on for that package. We all know my long-term success in UFC handicapping. Also have a write-up at All Access MMA, and I'll be going over a prelim fight or 2 as well that I just didn't go over here. So I'll be posting that out on Twitter and Instagram, so check that out. All right, guys, like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.